Hello and welcome. I'm Pachi Coates. I am a developer, I am a content creator, I am a streamer, and I'm a developer relations engineer. And I'm recording this video today because I want to share with you all how I became a developer in 12 months. And spoiler alert, it's not as simple as it sounds. I'm Brazilian. I moved to the US almost 8 years ago to be an au pair. If you don't know what's an au pair, it's basically living in nanny. You just live with the American family, usually a year or two, and take care of their kids. So I did that. I was with a great family. I didn't move a lot, and I ended up in New York with my last family. When my year ended, I didn't want to go back to Brazil. I love Brazil. I do. I love Brazil. I love my people. But the economy is not great, and the money I was making US, and I could actually have my family back home. And so I decided to stay without documents, or some people say illegal. Well, that's wrong. I was undocumented. I just found some jobs as a nanny in New York City. I moved a lot because rent in New York is expensive. So I was always looking for the cheapest rent available. And I have been dating an American boy for a while. He's not my husband. But I did not want to marry in shoes so I could get a green card. So I just keep dating. That was cool. That was fun. We had fun. We were getting to know each other better. I was happy being a nanny, and fast forward, I think 5 years, I got engaged, I got married. It was okay. I was still working under the table because lots of nannies do that. Families do kind of take advantage because there's this line between work and personal that nannies had to walk every day. I am actually a newborn care specialist and a baby sleep coach. And I love babies, but there was this feeling of I'm not really going places because it's hard to grow as a nanny. It's really hard to grow as a nanny as a career, especially in my case because newborns and toddlers were my specialty and they grow. So, But my older brother and his wife, they are both programmers. And sometimes he would say, hey, why don't you learn programming? But for me, in my mind, programming was this this wild thing that you had to have a degree and be great in mathematics and have so much attention. It was so difficult. So I just brushed him off, no, that's not for me. Why are you talking about that? That's not for me. But one day, my very favorite TV show was Mr. Robot. It still is. That's the best show ever. And I remember one episode, I don't know exactly which episode or what happened, but I know that Elliot, he did some pretty dope hacking that day. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And I texted my brother, hey, can you teach me how to be a hacker? And he's like, sure, give me 3 months. I was like, yes. He just sent me a link for a Codecademy and Shell tutorial. And I was like, okay, I'm hacking it. I never hacked anything to this day. But I started in HTML. I love HTML and CSS. And, eventually JavaScript. I still was a nanny. I did both for a while, for a year. And it was fun. I was learning. I was doing some cool things. I still didn't feel ready to work as a developer. I feel very unsure of that. But I was learning, and that was cool. Then I lost my job as a nanny. And I was living in a place that I had moved from after I got married. I moved from New York to New Jersey. And I don't drive. So it was hard for me to find any place without driving. So I was like, what do I do now? And my brother was like, why don't you focus on looking for a job? And I did. And that was scary because after every interview, all the job ads I saw, I didn't feel ready. But one day I was like, okay, let's do this. And I got my Twitter open. I had 400 followers, not 400,000. I had 400 followers at the time. That was a year ago. I just text, hey friends, I'm looking for my first dev job as a front-end developer. It can be remote or in New York City. Here's my portfolio. If you help me, I'm gonna give you a cupcake. And I just went to do my things, and people start sharing that and sharing. And after 48 hours, I had 1,000 reshares, and now I had 1,000 followers. And I was like, what? That's what the being viral means. People give me advice, and people gave me connections. But one person called me, hey, I have a company. Do you want to work with us as a freelancer? And I didn't ask him any questions. Heck yes. This person is telling me they are going to pay me to code. So yes, I accepted. It was great. I was happy, excited. As the time went on, that wasn't that great. I think I didn't make much money. The time was weird, and it just wasn't great. But I kept going. I thought that experience would be important. I still was looking for jobs. Just was still very unsure. Imposter syndrome now. And since the day, let's go back a little. Since the day I had started learning how to code. So yes, that was like I became a developer in a year. I got a job in a year. But it doesn't stop me there. Okay? That wasn't a good job. That wasn't something that I was happy about. And I was working hard. I worked very hard in that 1 year. I was working as a nanny. I was studying at the same time. I was trying to do this big career break coming from a field that, people say, hey, just think about your strengths. You can transfer anything. Transferring any skills to programming is hard. Okay? I did it, but that wasn't easy. And I got a job that was okay, but that wasn't just good enough. I wasn't making enough money to give myself. I wasn't learning enough things to feel like I was being challenged. And in general, that wasn't okay. And since I started learning to code, I have been rating my journey in Dev.to and my personal blog. A year ago, I started streaming live code on Twitch, and I was doing these things. I didn't know that was kind of a developer relation thing. I just did because it was feel natural to me. And then last year, at some point, somebody asked me, like, hey, are you interested in DevRel? Guess what? I had no idea what DevRel was. But I did a Google research. I got the general scope. Like, DevRel is like a marketing side of being a developer. Like, okay, I can try that. And then I got my first job as DevRel. Was a freelancer. I was like 10 hours a week. But I got the taste for developer relations. And I started learning, reading, connecting with people. And I found out my dream job. It's like, I want to do that. I love creating content. I love community. I love connecting with people online and talk about code. So I want to do that. But every job ad I saw for developer relations, they ask for many years of experience as a developer. So it's like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this developer job. That's okay. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. Until I get enough experience and apply for that. But that wasn't what was in the store for me. Okay, first I want to tell you all. I wasn't making much money. Okay, I was making like 20,000 a year. Because I didn't I work hourly, so like some weeks I had 20 hours, some weeks I didn't. Somebody that I know from Twitter, a great friend of mine, she was going to interview for a DevRel job, and she didn't really like it, the one part of the job. So she was like, hey, I have this friend, Pachi, she's a streamer, and I think she'll be a great match. And I went to the connection talk. I didn't have much hope because everything I read about the DevRel asked for experience. And I went to talk with my new manager, Janan. And it was awesome. Like, everything that he talked about was like, wow, that I just got the confirmation that really that was my dream job. But it was like, hey, I love you, you'll be great, but I don't have any space in the team right now. And it was like, okay, maybe we can talk later. But the next day he contacted me again and said, hey, things change, you do have a space. We had to interview you, we had to be hired in a week. So you're gonna have to do 2 interviews, record a video, and have another interview. And let's do this all in 3 days. And I was like, sure. I dropped everything and I did that, and I got a job. And I'm not gonna get into financial details, but I asked for X and I got much more than that, and now I make 6 figures and I don't know what to do with that. Just kidding, I know I have lots of bills to pay. But I am a developer relations engineer at Neuralink now. I worked really hard for that. Yes, I did. When I told my brother about that, my brother is my mentor, like every step. He's a very skeptical person. When I started talking about that route, he was like, But when I told him I got a job, and it was a great job, and it was my dream job, basically, he was proud. He was truly proud. He's like, I always knew it, that you had energy. I'm not surprised. He told me, I'm not surprised. because I knew you'd do great things. I knew you'd be great. So I'm not surprised at all. And you deserve it. That's a great job, but it doesn't mean that's going to be easy. You're going to be working harder now, but you're going to be satisfied with your life, and things are just going to get better. And when I told my dad I got a great job, my dad said, "They knew you're my daughter." Whatever, Dad. But yes, that's what I wanted to tell you all today. I did become a developer in 12 months. Yes. Was it easy? No, it was not. It was interesting, yes. I grew a lot, I learned a lot, I made lots of connections, and the community was crucial for me in this period. There are different ways. People do boot camps, people do college. I didn't do any. It worked for me. Again, that wasn't easy. It's still not easy, even though I have a great job. I'm doing what I'm passionate about. It's still not easy. I had to work every day. Loving your job does not mean that the job is easy. It just means that you're going to be working hard, but you're going to be happier than you'd be in a crappy job. So my message today for you is that you can do it. We all can do it. It's hard. Just look for help. And thank you so much for watching it. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be creating lots of content on YouTube now because my friend Chris gonna help him. So thank you, and just subscribe here. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. I stream a lot. I love coding. Twitch, patch codes everywhere. And that's all. I'm gonna be coming soon with another video, I suppose. Bye.